So relaxation is really powerful, really transformative, and it's the beginning and it's the main part of Taoist practice, this concept of do without doing, of allowing things to happen naturally without effort. And so the relaxation is kind of the main practice of this whole spiritual tradition that comes out of China. But it's not the end point. It's not the final goal of the practice, and it's not as far as it goes. There's something beyond relaxation. And as we deeply relax, we start to discover things, discover ourselves to be more sensitive and more aware of certain subtle things that are going on. And the relaxation allows us to start exploring these sensitivities and opening up to flows and experiences. And so the relaxation opens us up to that sensitivity. It also opens us up to spiritual energy flows. And when we relax, at some point there's a kind of point where more relaxation doesn't feel like relaxation. It feels like energy, because we become part of the flow of energy. And the more we relax into it, the more energetic we get, the more that energy is able to flow. And at that point, the practice doesn't feel like relaxation anymore. It feels like energizing, opening to the flow, opening to the divine universal force, the Holy Spirit that we call it in the West, or the universal energy, the vital force, the force that they talk about in Star Wars. Yeah? So at this point, Taoism stops looking different to any other spiritual tradition. It's like, at this point, when you're really getting the deep spirit of connecting to that universal one divine loving energy, loving, joyful, it feels good, you know. At this point, it's not different to a Christian practice that opens to divine love, or a Kabbalistic magical practice that opens to the hand of God and understanding how that works in the world, or a Buddhist practice, or whatever. The yoga, loving devotion of loving the whole universe, loving God, and allowing that love to flow through everything, and everything is love. Yeah, everything is love. Everything is this universal flow, this universal energy. And so the Tao, the way, tends to be how it's described in the Chinese Taoist tradition. There is a natural flow of things, a natural way of things, and the relaxation is not the point itself. It's the relaxation allows us to find that flow, to find that energy. Now, there are traditionally three kinds of energy that are talked of in Chinese medicine and Chinese texts and the Taoist tradition in general. The first one is the Jing. The Jing is physical vitality. So this is the kind of energy that's stored in your body's vital reserves. They say that you were born with it. It gets renewed by vital things, by being in nature, by eating vital food, by health. You could see the Jing as health, actually. So when someone is lacking in Jing, they get worn out. They have no energy, not able to do anything. And generally, I think that when people burn out, it's normally because they've been using up their jing. And the jing is a very limited resource. It runs out. As all physical things are limited resources. The qi is the second one, and the qi is the one that we talk about a lot, and a lot of people who get into Taoist practice learn about the qi. They start to be able to feel and develop the qi. The qi flows through our body. It flows through our meridian channels that the acupuncturists use, and it feels like a kind of tingling. It's also directable through your mind. So as you focus your mind on any point, you create a flow of qi. You can actually just focus all of your attention on one finger for a few minutes, and you start to feel a kind of tingling sensation. That is the qi. It's really quite easy to contact once you have some kind of basic sensitivity of it. When you relax, you allow that qi to flow. The jing comes more slowly, but the qi comes quite quickly from relaxing and focusing in the mind. But the third energy, which I think is the most important, is called the shen. The shen means spirit or heart. And it's the divine light. It's seen as intuitively, people often imagine it as pure white light. And when the hippies are talking about love and light, they're talking about this. When the Christians are talking about the Holy Spirit, they're also talking about this. And the shen is very soft, and it's very hard to control. I don't think it can be controlled. It can only be opened to, allowed to flow. And so it's again a kind of relaxation, a kind of allowing that flow to come in, that the really deep magic happens. So I had an experience of this just this week where I became very, very tired and weak and worn out, and nothing was working for me. And I was trying to do some relaxation practices and relax, doesn't matter, I just have no energy. And then I started to realize, hang on, I'd forgotten about the shen, and I started doing a few of my practices in a way that really opened to the shen. Within half an hour, I had gone from feeling like I was absolutely weak, and I was pain in my jaw and headache and neck out and all of these things. I was feeling like, okay, the first part of that pain is going away. And within a couple of hours that evening, I was able to get basically comfortable. And then I woke up this morning, because this is only the day after that I was feeling like that. I already have so much more energy. I woke up this morning feeling good. It's profoundly healing. It's profoundly healing on so many levels. It's profoundly healing for your physical body. It's profoundly healing for your emotions, your happiness, your if you're depressed, you don't have enough shen. This is the basic reason for it. It even heals the world around us, in that as we shine with that shen, we affect and we uplift and we bring good things around us, and good things come back to us. So there's so many ways in which it is profound and powerful. But it feels really soft and unnoticeable in many ways. It doesn't affect us directly, physically, in such an obvious way. And so it often gets missed. And in my work, all of my work, I try to bring in that shen, whether it's the music or the qigong or other spiritual practices, yoga, whatever. The Shen is the most important thing. And so there are a lot of Tai Chi, Qigong practices that focus more on the Qi. I mean, that's why it's called Qigong. It's development of Qi. I like to think of the practices that I work with and that I've been... Now it's going to ring for 12 times. You're going to have to wait for it. Yeah, so I like to think of my work as maybe Shen-gung rather than Qigong, really building the Shen. And because the church bells are attempt to do the same thing, and a lot of the old church services were at least designed at one stage to develop the Shen in different ways. But that's another question. Today we're talking about Taoism, not the church. Yeah, so Taoist relaxation, it's a great beginning, but we're actually aiming for is we're relaxing into, opening to all of these energies, the Jing, the wealth, health energy, the Qi, the power of focus, directed energy, and that spiritual, opening, happy